All right. We are back.
All right.
With the Puck Buddy podcast, election week.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Time to get your passports to Canada.
Actually, I think that time came and passed because I don't think they're going to let anyone into the country after Trump gets elected.
Well, we are all officially
building
screwed.
a border wall along Canada because they just don't want people coming in.
They're taking Trump's ideas and putting it, against him.
They're making us pay for it.
Yeah. But anyways, we are your Puck Buddy podcast.
Hey.
Once again here to provide you with some expert fantasy analysis to your week-to-week decisions you make in your fantasy hockey lineup.
Trying to make your fantasy team great again.
Yes. One mistake at a time.
Same as our presidential electing.
Yes, a lot of similarities here and
And if she wasn't my daughter... You guys get that?
Yeah,
okay.
which she could be.
Anyways, once again, we are the Puck Buddy podcast. We got a good one for you here.
Really inappropriate.
Yeah, let you keep that to yourself. But we got a big day ahead of us. We got some keep trade cuts. We got our starts of the week for you. Just a couple of new segments that we're excited about.
And then we have some insight into the brand new Rogue One Star Wars. I'm kidding, we don't.
But you should stay to the end because we might if you're lucky.
Just like every Marvel movie, there's a scene at the end, so just wait.
So you have to listen
Just
to
like
the whole
one of
podcast.
our normal segments. It's a trap! Don't believe them! Alright, but still stick around.
Yeah.
All right, let's hop right into our new segment, Keep Trade Cut. It's pretty self-explanatory. We're going to give you a couple of names of a couple of players, and we're going to, decide whether you should either A, keep them on your fantasy team, B, trade them away because they suck.
Or get some scissors.
Yeah, or 3, and just cut them. Cut them in half, cut them from your fantasy team, whatever means of cutting you need to do to them.
And really quick, by trade, they could suck and you could trade. Or you could be getting someone that's on a hot streak that you don't believe will continue that hot streak, and you may want to trade them while they're hot to get someone, higher than you could get otherwise.
Yeah, exactly. So let's start off with the first player, guys. I know this has kind of been a big disappointment for everyone, especially Cam.
Yes.
Andrew Ladd, is he a keep, a trade, or a cut?
He is a sever. That is just below cut. He only has 1 goal, 1 assist, and is -3 this entire season. I'm not talking about the past 4 or 5 games on a cold streak. I mean, he fell into a frozen river, and he's been there since 2012. So he is underperforming, and I say cut him, drop him. He is finding no chemistry with the Islanders, and he is dropping lines very quickly.
So you guys are saying he has no trade value at all?
He definitely has trade value because of his name, but other than that, he has nothing to show for it.
Well, he also had pick value because of his name. I picked him because of his name, and I don't think that was a smart decision by me. So, it proved out to be. But
I mean, he's reached the 40-point mark in almost all of his seasons. He's reached the 70-point mark, so his ceiling is extremely high. He's just not meshing well with the Islanders. It really sucks, especially with someone as good as John Tavares. You expect him to be that guy to finish and provide the offensive support.
And now he's no longer playing with him because he can't step up.
Yeah, agreed. It's been real sad.
That's huge because John Tavares has made a lot of players look like all-stars. Matt Molson, even turning Kyle Okaposo, getting his career started. If he can't turn Andrew Ladd into an all-star, then I don't think anyone else can. So I can see why you guys would cut him. Understandable.
Yeah.
Let's move on to another guy. If you can't be Ladd, then you might be sad. Brandon Saad. What are we doing with him? Keep, trade, or cut him?
I'll speak first on this one again, just because he's on my team as of right now, and I'm going to keep him for now. He's someone that 2 weeks ago, if you'd asked me the same question, I may have had a different answer. But he does have 3 goals, 5 assists, +4, and 26 shots this season. Last week he only had 3 assists, but he's on a Columbus team that seems to not be slowing down. Bob's playing real well in the back end. I think that Saad is someone you want to hold on to for now, and just wait to see another week, another 2 weeks. If the production does not increase to the level that we know that he can, you may want to trade him at that point. But for now, I believe he's a keep.
Yeah, I think he'll continue to get some more points. He started off real slow, And it was good that you kept him up till now because he's been getting you more points. But the man-child is definitely a good offensive producer. The Columbus Blue Jackets, I honestly think, will be slumping a little bit with the loss of Seth Jones. But they still need to score, so I think he's a good keep for now. And just ride him, see how he does. Maybe, like you said, trade him later. So I agree with that.
All right, so we were saying for now, keep Brandon Saad. So let's keep him with that. Well, since Eddie mentioned Seth Jones, I think this next name we got to bring up right now, Zach Werenski. He's been having himself a career year for a rookie. Great start to his NHL, NHL season, his NHL career. What are we doing with him? Are we keeping him? Are we trading him? Are we cutting him?
There's no way you're cutting him at the rate he's going right now. He is just a high-value player at this point. So Zach Werenski, he is definitely a top 15 defenseman. His projected was 608 at the beginning of the season, and now he's at 88. That's incredible. This rookie is doing super well, and my advice to you is to sell high on this defenseman. And if you can get top 15 value for him, you should do it. I don't know if he can continue with the production he's been going with right now. He's still a rookie, so it's tough to trust him. So that would be my advice.
I think the reason for that is in an 82-game season, it's very hard for rookies to continue a pace that they've had for the first 12 to 15 games. Once the travel starts, the lack of practices when they're on those trips, the time away from your own bed, just the amount of games they play,
it's
injuries,
a big workload,
bumps and bruises, all that stuff. Yeah. So for me, the one player that would be kind of a steal and a trade, in my opinion, would be Roman Josi at the moment. I believe this is the only time in the season that you're going to be able to trade Werenski for Josi straight up. Reason being, Josi is on a very cold streak right now. He's not playing very hot. We talked about him earlier in one of our podcasts about he and PK Subban being outscored by Matty Irwin. So if you can, if you can get Josi for Werenski, I believe that Josi will be a better deal the rest of this season as opposed to the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, that would be a steal. If you can get someone to bite on that, then that's looking good for a fantasy trade. But let's mention a couple of other names, more realistic names in terms of someone who might be a little more educated with the fantasy realm. Maybe we might consider trading Zach Werenski for maybe like a Torrey Krug or a Tyson Barrie who haven't been performing as well. Both these players, usually they're put up good seasons. I know both of them have had 40-point seasons before, and you don't know if you're going to get that right away from Zach Werenski, even though he shows a lot of promise.
Right.
So consider maybe packaging Werenski with maybe another player, kind of work out a nice double deal that you might be able to get one of these better players for.
So would you guys rather have Mike Green or Werenski?
I mean, that's a little tough. I kind of see them both in the same situation. They're both good defensemen in a maybe not as strong Eastern Conference team. But I mean, I honestly would rather have Mike Green just because you know what you're going to get from him.
Right.
He's produced it year to year, and he's a bigger name. But I think long run, if we were to do somewhat of a keeper league, Werenski hands down.
I think, this second in time, Werenski has better trade value than Mike Green does right now.
Oh, trade value.
Trade value,
sure.
yes.
So
But
if you're asking me if I would rather just look at my phone and be like, oh my gosh, I have one or the other, I'd rather have Werenski so I could trade him for Josi.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
That's my answer.
But one key thing that I don't know if we've mentioned yet, Werenski has been partnered with Seth Jones. And if you don't already know, Seth Jones is out for 3 weeks with a hairline fracture.
3 to 4 weeks. But hairline fractures take longer to heal, usually, like 6 weeks. They're being very optimistic, so just keep that in mind. So
that's why we want to mention him as a trade more than anything, because we already know he has huge value right now, but that could decline easily without Seth Jones there.
Yeah, and the thing to remember is that he's going to get more minutes. So Seth Jones was getting about 24 minutes average of ice time per night. So Werenski is going to have to pick up that slack, and he's going to get more power play time because of it. This could go one of two ways. One, Werenski could now pick it up even more and just slam the gas pedal straight down and be one of the best producers on the Columbus team. Or, without Seth Jones, he could lose track of the point production that he's had right now and kind of lose that trade value. So, yeah, I say trade him right now.
All right, so we're labeling Werenski as a trade. So I know we hopped around right to the defenseman, but let's take a look at another forward that's been quite the surprise this year in the fantasy hockey realm, and that's Jonathan Marchessault. So if many of you don't know who he is, then you obviously haven't been listening to our podcast. But he's been going off for the Florida Panthers. He's replacing Jonathan Huberdeau since Huberdeau has been out for 3 to 4 months projected. So right now he's on a tear. 6 goals, 6 assists, +4 power play points, 35 shots, 15 hits. I mean, he's kind of racking up everything right now. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, what would you guys do with him? He's a player on a tear. Last month's our player of the month, number 3, I think.
Yeah.
Keep trade cut.
I think keep now, trade later.
Yeah. While he's standing on the sun, you better keep him.
Yeah. He is so hot, and I don't believe that's going to stop. You keep him. When you should trade him is 2 to 3 weeks before Huberdeau comes back. Reason being is when Huberdeau comes back, Marchessault is no longer going to be on the top line. That's our understanding or our projection.
I still have the question of if he continues on this tear and is just continuing to rack up points and everything, are they really going to have Huberdeau go to the top line immediately?
Absolutely.
You think
Huberdeau's
so?
still better.
100%?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Think of it this way. If Pavelski's injured, right, for the Sharks, and they put Karlsson up there, and Karlsson gets 17 points in 15 games, and then Pavelski comes back, Karlsson's not staying up there. You know what I mean?
I think Huberdeau...
Okay,
Huberdeau's been a second-line forward.
Not Karlsson. Timo Meier. We haven't seen him before. He comes in fresh and gets 17 points in 15 games, and then Pavelski comes back. Meier's not going to take Pavelski's spot. If Huberdeau comes back and then starts playing like crap, they may switch it back. But I think Huberdeau has earned that spot from last year, and he's going to get it when he comes back.
Okay. Yeah, he's one of their most promising rookies. Marchessault, they just stole from the Tampa Bay Lightning this year.
Mm-hmm. He's always been good, though. He's definitely a deeper forward.
I think I was reading a cool stat this week, and it was saying Marchessault has now matched his point total of last season.
Already?
But he's always been on like a third line forward. He's always provided the depth. He's never been on the top line. So it's been kind of nice to see him produce.
I think what's nice for the Florida team is when they put him down to the second or third line, they're going to boost that depth so much. And he may continue to score, maybe not at the high pace that he has now because of less ice time, but he may boost the scoring of that line, whatever he's put on,
Yeah, he might be the walk assault now, not the marching assault.
Exactly, the walk assault.
So anyways, we mentioned him as a keep now player. You got to ride him while he's hot. But we are looking to trade him later. So we're going to kind of give you a couple of names that you might consider trading him for as the season goes on and Huberdeau gets closer to returning. I'm just going to kind of throw out names. I want you guys to tell me whether yes or no you would trade for him. So first one, I kind of would consider this a little bit of a steal, but Johnny Gaudreau. I know he's been on a huge slump. Would you trade him, Marchessault, for him?
Absolutely.
When the time comes, when Huberdeau returns, I don't think Gaudreau's going to be on a cold streak forever. So yeah, if it was possible, absolutely. I don't think it would happen.
What if you were given that trade now?
Right now,
I would. Just because, I don't know, Gaudreau is probably going to ramp up at some point. He's at his lowest value right now. If you can even package Gaudreau with someone else for Marchessault, if someone's going to be foolish, take advantage of that. Take advantage of that person,
For me, I wouldn't do it yet. I would wait.
Because he's,
and I don't have for me, it's like a 60-40 feeling on it, but I would wait just to see if Gaudreau can come back because the Flames really have not been doing well, and I think I need to see a team start playing better to allow their stars to play better and produce, so...
Don't want it to affect your pristine plus-minus as well.
Yeah, also, Gaudreau is -11 right now, so that's kind of awful.
Okay, Gaudreau, 2 quick names. James Neal, Philip Forsberg, they're kind of around the same tier, same level of actual production now. Would you consider either of them for a trade for Marchessault?
Once again, not at the moment, but in a couple months, absolutely. Either of them. I think they both are solid picks.
Agreed.
Okay, cool. Well, now that that's out of the way, let's look at our last keep trade cut. We're going to look at actually a package of goalies right now.
God, Jesus.
The Philadelphia Flyers netminders have been absolutely horrid. Steve Mason, Michael Neurith, Neuwirth. I can't even pronounce his name.
You don't need to.
I'm just gonna. We're gonna go real quick through this. I'm just gonna say what they had, and just because we don't need to debate this. No one disagrees with me. I don't think even they disagree with me. Steve Mason.
He actually called you and told you this?
He started crying. So Neuwirth and Mason both have dropped significantly in their fantasy rankings. So projected to start the season, Mason was 195. He is now 520. Neuwirth was 166 projected. Now he's 548.
At least they're together.
Yeah, right. Let's look at Mason's stats. He has 2 wins, a 3.46 goals against average, and a save percentage of just .878. Neuwirth is looking just a little bit worse. Although he has 4 wins, he has a 3.57 goals against average and only an .859 save percentage. I'm telling you, you need to throw shurikens at these guys. You need to sharpen your knives. You need to cut.
So I do have a question for you guys.
Yes.
Would you rather have these Philadelphia goalies or would you rather have Dallas goalies?
Dallas goalies.
Yeah.
I would say Dallas goalies because
Even though
they
they're
can
slumping
get you the
right
win.
now.
Because they can score.
But the Philadelphia Flyers have
can
been scoring
score.
on a way higher rate, at a way higher rate than Dallas.
But also the Dallas team in general is very beat up.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it shows that
As soon as
they're
Dallas gets healthy, I believe
Exactly.
that they'll be better. I think for the season long, Dallas.
agreed.
Okay.
All right, so I think that wraps up our new segment, the Keep Trade Cut. I think it's a segment that we're hoping to keep around. I think it'll be more helpful as the season goes on. Once we get a better idea of where these players cement themselves in the fantasy rankings.
Yeah, if you guys have any questions, please hit us up. Let
Yeah.
us know what you want us to talk about.
At www.wedon'thaawebsiteyet.com.
Yes,
But
so-
also our Gmail account.
Yeah.
You can also
I
use
guess I could have
that.
said
You
that.
want to give them the Gmail account, Eddie?
It's at thepuckbuddies03@gmail.com or www.wedon'tcare.com.
Yes. And then once
That'd
we
be
get
interesting if that was
complaints,
an actual site.
it probably is, and we're
Probably
going to
is.
soon get complaints from all of these websites, but
They gave us better fantasy advice than you ever have.
they wouldn't be lying.
Nope.
So, anyways, let's move into our last segment, one that I'm pretty excited about. It is our starts of the week. So, essentially,
Yes.
what is a start of a week? It is someone that we think, between all the different positions in fantasy hockey, center, left wing, right wing, defense, goaltenders, all the positions that we think you should be starting them this whole week. Whether you should play them over other, higher names, more of your automatic starts is kind of up to you to decide. But we're going to kind of convince you the best we can that these players are worthy of a start this week in every game that they're playing. So let's move right into it. We're looking at some centers, Cam. What center would you start in every game this week?
Mine is an easy pick for me. Ryan Kessler. 13 games. He has 4 goals, 6 assists, +5, 22 penalty minutes. In the last 5 games, he has 3 goals and 3 assists. So he's on a hot streak. He has 4, or actually all 4 goals were on the power play, I believe. So at
I
least
know last game
at
he
least
got
those,
2 power play goals.
At
He
least
was
the
killing
3
it.
in the last 5 games were on the power play. I believe all 4 were. But Ryan Kessler has been playing amazing. The Ducks have been looking better. They fixed their PK. They're winning games. They have pretty good matchups this week. I think Ryan Kessler is a no-brainer. Play him every game this week.
Yeah, rightfully so, because I believe last week he was a top 3 fantasy player in fantasy hockey.
Yep.
So
He is
on a tear right now, and he's going to keep on tearing it up, ripping everything to shreds, and he's going to be good. Yeah,
It's not my homework.
the
Ryan.
dog didn't eat it. Ryan Kessler ate my homework.
Ryan Kessler tore it up.
Yeah, if I had a nickel every time I heard that one.
Yeah.
I'm rich.
So I'm gonna move into
is
my
10 cents.
my center for this this week 4 of fantasy hockey, Matt Duchene. So we kind of mentioned that he started off a little slow and then started throwing up some multi-point games and getting back in his groove. He's currently has 6 goals this season, 4 assists for 10 points, which is pretty solid. Like I said before, he has 3 multi-point games this season. That's pretty nice. And an interesting trend that I noticed that he is scoring, whether it's a goal or assist, in 2 out of every 3 games.
Wow.
So expect him, hopefully this little pattern is something that he's following himself and it will continue. So know that at least out of 2 of the 3 games you'll get something from him. Oh. And right now he's playing with McKinnon and a little sleeper here, Ratinen.
Rantanen.
Yeah,
Very good pick.
He wouldn't be a bad waiver option, by the way. But aside from him, Matt Duchene, his next 3 games are against, it's actually a homestand versus Arizona, Winnipeg, and Boston.
All at home.
All at home.
Wow, that's good.
So we love homestands here. Hopefully Matt Duchene does as well. And those are some weak matchups. So expect him to, like I said, score in at least 2 of the 3 of those matchups. Whether it's a multi-point game, like it's highly likely with Matt Duchene. So I think he would be a solid start for every game this week. Okay, I actually have one more center I'm going to package these players together. So we're moving on to the left wing right now. For our left wingers, I'm going to endorse this guy and also this entire line. But Nikolai Ehlers, he is the left wing he's left wing, right wing on the Winnipeg Jets.
You know what my favorite game to play is?
What's your favorite game?
Ehlers and Escalators. Okay, you can go.
I've never played that game before, and I don't know if he has either. But anyways, this line of
Escalators!
Ehlers,
Yeah,
Ehlers, Scheifele, and Wheeler are, that's a pretty solid line. Those are probably some of the top 3 players in Winnipeg right now. And, I just kind of...
Patrick Laine or anything.
So I'm just going to kind of, he will eventually. So we won't
He's
mention
okay.
him now.
He's not bad.
But yeah, so this line, the reason I want to kind of mention them to you is because of their next couple of games. So first they are playing Dallas, then they're playing Arizona, then Colorado, and then LA. So if you don't notice this right after I mention all those names, but those are all teams with awful goaltending.
Yep.
So the chances of this line scoring is huge. Mm-hmm. And they've already been doing it. I mean, Nikolai Ehlers has a goal and 4 assists in his past 2 games. Scheifele is riding back-to-back multi-point games. And, Blake Wheeler, he's going to get you all the shots and hits you need if you're not getting it from those other players. So that line I fully endorse as my starts of the week, whether you need a left wing, a center, or a right wing. So don't be afraid to play the Winnipeg Jets this week because they are going to, they're going to be a good line. And they're going to be a good team with their juicy, juicy matchups. So, Cam, what do you got for us for your left winger?
Well,
actually, I'm going to usurp Cam, and I'm going to take over.
That hurt. Oh, gosh, that hurt.
Usurp. But I'm picking Taylor Hall, and you might think, well, that's a pretty obvious option. But I'm just going to reinforce the fact that you should play him every game this week. He is 99% owned, so obviously most people have him. But he is a top 12 fantasy option at left wing. Left wing is a very slim pickings position. Right now he has 5 goals and 3 assists on the season, which isn't fantastic. I think they expected him to do a little bit more. But at this point, this week, he's facing Carolina at home. He's going to Buffalo, and then they're coming back home to face Buffalo again. So those are some pretty juicy matchups. Those are some great opportunities for them to score a lot. Both Carolina and Buffalo are at the bottom of the league for, they're at the top of the league for allowing goals, but they're at the bottom of the league for stopping them.
Being an NHL team.
Yeah, so so it's a good matchup for him. Again, to reinforce this, goals against per 60 minutes in Carolina is 28th in the NHL with 3.30, and Buffalo is 23rd with 2.72. With all this in mind, you should confidently just start Hall this week, and that's all I really have to say.
You should cut Hall as soon as you can.
Let me pick Hall up, and you should, But yeah, start Hall.
Because if you don't start him, Eddie will.
Yeah, I certainly will.
Yeah, Hall's definitely a start. For mine, a little less well-known, JT Miller on the Rangers. In 13 games, he's had 5 goals, 8 assists, 29 shots. In the last 5 games, he has 7 points, 3 goals, 4 assists. JT Miller is really heating up. And before I go into his matchups, I wanted to talk about someone else that actually I decided not to. Bo's can talk about him. Kevin Hayes. Bo, do you want to jump in with me before we talk about matchups? Because Kevin Hayes is right there with JT Miller.
So, okay. I'll throw him in there. Kevin Hayes, he is my right wing starter of the week. And if Cam's going to start JT Miller, I'm for sure starting Kevin Hayes. Both of them are on a line with with Michael Grabner. And if you haven't heard our previous podcast, that line is on fuego. Like it's
On fuego.
if you get anywhere near these players, you will get burnt. I guarantee you. Like not even a burn heel will save you. But anyways, JT Miller, Kevin Hayes, they are on a tear right now.
We're such nerds.
Yeah, it happens. But Kevin Hayes, 4 goals, 5 assists, +9 in 5 games, riding a 4-goal scoring streak. There's not much more you can ask for from a fantasy player.
They are. You could say they're morphing into some elite offensive options for the Rangers.
Yeah.
The Go New York Rangers. JT Miller and Kevin Hayes.
Anyways, so
I'm so sorry.
so like we said, we'll kind of give you the matchups and the reason why these players are going to tear it up.
Yeah, so both JT and Kevin over here, they are playing Vancouver at home. They are then at Calgary and then at Edmonton. Those are the 3 games this week.
They're going through a bit of a Canadian
cycle right there.
Yeah, because they realized that the election was going on this week.
So they had to get out of the country.
They had to get out of here. Rightfully so.
But no, I believe that these are, well, the first 2 especially, Vancouver and Calgary, are great matchups. In Edmonton, it's going to be a little tougher, but the way that this line is playing, I think it's safe to start them for all 3 of those.
It's safe to start them. Edmonton's the middle of the pack for allowing goals in a game. So, they've been allowing 2.11. So, yeah, you can expect some good goals to be going through.
And another thing I want to mention is even though these guys are the third line, they are dominating all third line matchups. So even
they're the best third line in the NHL right now.
Exactly.
Right?
So even against Edmonton, which is top of the Pacific right now, it's highly unlikely that they're going to have a line that can match up with them. Like Connor McDavid is going to be up against Stepan and Nash, and maybe even like Hopkins will be against their second line. Like no one's going to match up with this line of JT Miller, Kevin Hayes, and Michael Grabner. So they are hot, they're worthy of a start, and I am fine starting them in any case I can. So
totally
go ahead with that.
Totally.
Can I really quick just do my right wing? Because I don't have a big matchup notification for you guys, but David Pastrnak, he is on a 3-game goal streak, which is pretty cool. In 9 games, he has 7 goals and 3 assists. And he has
Pastor Whack.
Yeah, Pastor Whack. And he has 33 shots. I think the fact that he's on a 3-game goal streak, I wouldn't say it's fluky, but you want to ride him while he's hot. I think this week, especially, he has 33 shots so far. If you need shots and you need goals, like I do, he is not a bad person to play. His next 4 games, he's at Montreal. Montreal, Columbus, and Arizona for the next 3. And, Columbus and Arizona are probably a little better than the Montreal matchup. But I still think David Pastrnak has been playing really well, and you should ride him while he's on that goal streak.
Totally agree. He's been killing it.
Yeah, playing with the Marchand and Bergeron.
The Burge.
Doesn't get much better than that.
Welcome to the Burge. Yep. So I'm going to give you guys a right wing who's not very widely owned. He's only 2% owned. So this guy you might be able to pick up off the waiver. But if you need a right wing spot start, this is a perfect time to pick up Patrick Eaves. He's playing on the top line with Ben and Sagan, which they're pretty good players.
They're all right.
They're okay. But they are just getting a little more of their offensive touch back as of late. So they've been scoring a little bit more, which is good to see. I know Ben was starting off real cold, so a lot of people were worried. But they've been doing well as of late, so I'm hoping that Eaves gets a chance to benefit from the production that's been going on. And he has some great plus matchups coming up this week. He has 3 home games against Canadian teams again, like you guys were saying with the Rangers. And they're all home games, which is great. He's playing against Winnipeg, Calgary, Edmonton, and Vancouver. So not only does he have the advantage in these games, but he has 4 games this week to accumulate points for you. So that's also a plus match, a positive thing going for him. So most teams play 3 games in the week. He has 4. He has seen the most 5v5 playing time with approximately 30.8% of the power play time as well. And with so many injuries and atrocious goalies, they're going to have to score. So I would say Patrick Hughes is a great play this week. I would confidently start him in all these games, and hopefully he gets you some points.
Yeah, especially in a sparse position like the right wing,
which is the sparsest.
Yeah.
Out of any position.
The sparsiest.
The spicy. Sparsy.
Yeah. So don't feel free to start any of these options at right wing because I know it's a tough position to find a solid starter. They will do great. Once again, that's David Pasternak, Kevin Hayes, and Patrick Eaves for your right wing starters.
Sit Patrick Kane for any of these options.
Yeah, and you will deeply regret that. But yes, let's move on to our defensemen. Eddie, you want to take off with your start of the week?
Sure, I'll just roll right into it. This was my trap of the week last week. He released himself from the trap, just broke free, and now he's severing all the Suns in... Sorry. That's a little...
Hide your children!
Hide your children!
He's coming!
Damien's coming! But yeah, Damon Severson, he's been killing it. He's been stringing together point streaks. He's been riding the top power play unit and the top D line in New Jersey. As I said last podcast, his Corsi, which is like the time of possession that a player has the puck, is around 50%, and that is incredible. You want your players to have around 50 or above, preferably above, of course. But
just a little clarification. It's basically it is possession, but it's when he's on the ice, your team has possession. So it doesn't have to be him actually holding the puck 50% of the time he's on the ice, but it's when he's on the ice, his team has possession for more than 50%, basically.
Right. Thanks, Cam. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's them they have possession, they're taking shots. It's his team creating offensive opportunities. The Corsi number is very important. But yeah, he's been having a great Corsi. He sees a lot of power play time, like I said, and I expect him to do well this week. He's got some good matchups. He's got Carolina on Sunday, which is a great matchup as well. So I expect him to do great. So anyway, you guys can take it over from here. On that note.
All right. Well, I'll just really quickly do mine. Mark Streit. We have talked about him before, so I won't be too long on him.
Get straight to the point.
Straight to the point. Yeah, straight to the point. Basically, in 13 games, Mark has 3 goals, 6 assists, 8 penalty minutes, 5 power play points, and 24 shots. He's kind of doing it all. In the last 5 games, he has 1 goal, 2 assists, and 10 shots. The reason that I'm so keen on the shots is that he only had 110 shots last season and he already has 24. He's on track to well surpass that amount. So if you need a defenseman that can give you shots as well as power play points and a few penalty minutes here and there, as well as score, I think Mark Streit is a great pick, a great person to play. You need to ride him right now, especially with the matchups this week. Yeah, I mean. They've been playing well, so yeah, Mark Streit, as we said before in our other podcast, he's a great decision to play.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite from our podcast.
I know that you have always been.
I've always been very high
on him, yeah. and I really have been kind of hesitant.
I just like Philadelphia right now.
Yeah,
everything besides their goaltending.
Yeah,
they've just been killing it.
But the fact that he's been doing that well on a team with that bad of goaltending,
yeah, that's impressive.
Very impressive. So, yeah.
All right, cool. Well, I will hop into my defenseman start of the week. This guy has actually been off to a huge slump to begin the fantasy hockey season, so this might be a little bit of a surprise, but my option is Torrey Krug. So he has been struggling, straight struggling. So terrible start to the season, and many people might not know this, but the reason why is because he had off-season shoulder surgery. So that takes a while.
Same shoulder surgery that I had.
Yeah, so him and Cam are pretty much the same person. And if you like Cam, you'll like Torrey Krug.
And if you don't, you probably will still like Torrey Krug.
Yeah, you might still like.
Can we get him out of here? Get this guy out of here.
But yeah, like I said, Torrey Krug, he's been trying to recover from that off-season shoulder surgery, and it's taken him a while to get back in NHL form. The NHL is the top hockey division in the world. And it's not easy to just, come right back from injury and be a stud. So for him, he's, kind of been easing back into it. He's even saying now that he's starting to feel better. He's starting to see the ice a lot well. He's still putting up shots. And that's actually something I want to key in on. Even though he's been off to a struggle to begin the year, he's still number 5 in shots by defensemen.
Wow.
And that's pretty big. You can if you keep on shooting the puck, it's eventually going to go in.
Good things will happen.
Yeah, so although he doesn't have any goals on the season right now, I guarantee you he will get one soon. And even right now, he has 2 assists in his past 3 games. So you can kind of already tell that he's starting to get that confidence, and he's starting to roll right now. And for pretty much the main reason why I have him as my start of the week is his matchups are great. I mean, he's got Buffalo, Montreal, and Columbus.
What was that, Bo?
So they just played Buffalo, and he got an assist. They play Montreal next in Montreal, so we pray that there's another Montoya 10-goal game going on there.
Temper your expectations.
And then they're playing at home versus Columbus, and then they're playing in Arizona against the Coyotes. So aside from that Montreal matchup, he's looking pretty good with those other 2 matchups. So Torrey Krug, terrible start, but look for him to pick it up. Start of the week. I'm endorsing him right there. He's my candidate. So there's our defenseman, guys.
Phil Kessel for president. Did you guys see that T-shirt that he had?
I did.
And it was like, Phil Kessel for president. He's like, nice guy, tries hard.
Make double chins great again.
Yeah, it was like literally just his slogan was tries hard.
Love Phil Kessel. I think he's on the Penguins.
I know, but he's so funny.
He's funny. He's a good player. He's a great player. So. Yeah.
Well, yeah, so unfortunately, Phil Kessel does not play goalies, so we can't endorse him as our start of the week for goalie.
Oh, man.
But I'll endorse one of his teammates, and that's Matt Murray. Ooh. So Matt Murray here, man. Oh man, he's come back with the desire to be the very best. Like he's
like no one ever was.
Yeah.
To catch them is my real quest. To train them is my cause.
Yeah.
Spoken word Pokemon.
Yeah.
Continue.
So he's also, if you didn't know this, while he was on injured, he was being trained by Ash Ketchum to be one of the very best, and he's come out to be one of the very best. He's only played 2 games, but he has wins in both of those games, only allowing 1 goal. So there's no rust on Matt Murray right now, and there's a good chance that he's going to take that starting job from Fleury. So I, fully endorse him. However, I want to say for a start of the week, as much as I love him, I'm a little hesitant because they're only playing 3 games this week, and Fleury's going to start 1, if not 2 of them.
Yeah.
So they're playing Edmonton, which will be a tough one, but I know Murray has a good past against them. Then they're playing Minnesota and Toronto. So all these games are at home, which is great for Penguins right now, but you got to kind of temper yourself that Matt Murray might only get 1 start at the minimum, possibly 2 because he's playing so well. But since, the starts are a little short, I want to give you another name that I'm pretty comfortable starting this week, and that's Robin Lehner. He's been, for a Buffalo Sabres goaltender, he's been performing all right. In his past 5 games, he has 3 wins with a 1.81 goal against average, .947 save percentage, and that's pretty good for someone in Buffalo. That doesn't happen often. But his next couple of games for Robin Lehner against Ottawa at home, playing New Jersey twice, back to back. So 1 game in New Jersey and 1 at home in Buffalo. So just alone those 2 New Jersey games are all you need to know to be comfortable with Robin Lehner. He's going to play one of those games, and there's a very good chance of him getting a win with a good goal against and save percentage.
Yeah, I believe they just played Boston. Is that correct?
Yeah. So unfortunately, they lost that one 4-0.
But he played really well. I watched that whole game, and
he always plays well.
I think he made 34 saves.
Yeah.
And he had no support on the front end or from his D. He was making some ridiculous saves. So I believe Lehner
played really well too.
I gotta be honest. For me, Lehner is a better pick this week than Murray because he will play every game.
Yes, so he was originally my main start, but I had to throw in Matt Murray. But like Cam said, he had 38 saves.
38, wow.
Against Boston. And the crazy thing was, Boston scored most of their goals on the power play. They were 3 for 8. First of all, they had 8 power plays, which is ridiculous.
But they scored 3.
And so the fact that he stopped 5 of them and only let in 3 goals, that's not bad. There's not much you can blame on a goalie for, power play opportunities.
After 38 saves, too.
Yeah,
I mean, that's keeping your team in
He still had himself a good game. It's just unfortunate the way it turned out that his team couldn't score, but, don't be afraid to start Robin Lehner this week.
Agreed. And I guess I'll go right into mine, but, some guy that I'm sure you've heard enough about from us, but Jimmy Howard, if you haven't heard enough, you'll hear it here again. Jimmy Howard.
The J silent.
The Yimmy. Yimmy Howard. So this week, he's looking pretty good. His record is really good. He's started 4 games, played 5 because Mrazek got pulled. 2 wins and 2 losses. Goals against average is 1.12 with a .965 save percentage. That's pretty okay. The past 5 games, he's only allowed 5 goals on 141 shots. That's amazing. So you gotta ride this guy while he's hot. One thing that I'm gonna say, just a word of caution. These numbers are completely unsustainable for Howard. He has never posted a save percentage over .910 in his past 3 seasons. His quality starts last season was a measly .485, whereas this season, it's a pretty good 100%. It's a 1.00. So, just from that alone, you can tell this is unsustainable. He's not going to continue this pace. His goals against percentage, which against percentage, which is the goals allowed percentage relative to the league's goals allowed percentage, was 110 last year, and it's 40 this year. And when it's at 100, that's being exactly average. So a lesser number is better. And right now it's 40. That is incredible. Like I said, it's unsustainable, but he's been playing out of his mind. You have to play Jimmy Howard while he's hot. Just know that. Don't expect him to just continue this crazy pace. And I know he's going to be splitting time with Mrazek, but you can confidently start him while he's hot. So that's all I got for Jimmy Howard again. You'll probably keep hearing him in our next podcast, so stay tuned for more Jimmy Howard news.
Because this is the Jimmy Howard Show.
This is
The Jimmy Howa Awa.
the Jimmy Howa Awa.
Okay, so my goaltender, big surprise. He's from the Columbus Blue Jackets. Sergei Bobrovsky. Basically,
Bob's Roskies.
Guys,
Come
9
get your
games.
here.
All right, guys, listen to this. In 9 games, all right, he has 5 wins and 1 overtime loss. So that's points in 6 out of those 9 games. 1.79 goals against average, .947 save percentage, and 3 shutouts. Ooh. Need I say more, America? Yes? Well, then let me take you with these numbers. His next 3 matchups are against Anaheim at home, at Boston, then home against St. Louis. You might be thinking, those are not the greatest matchups, right? Well, on October 28th, he shut out Anaheim 4-0.
Well, bam!
And then against Montreal, on November 4th, he won 10-0.
Well, bam!
Beat Dallas 3-2. Beat San Jose. He lost San Jose, but he had a really good goals against average against them and a save percentage against San Jose.
These are pretty pedestrian numbers.
Shut out Dallas 3-0. Bobrovsky's doing it all. You start him.
Yeah.
Done.
So vote for Bobrovsky.
Vote for Bobrovsky.
He will make America great again.
He's trying to make the Blue Jackets great again.
He's doing a good job
at this point.
He is, yeah.
Yeah, so pretty much that wraps up our starts of the week. I hope you guys enjoyed this segment. It was it was pretty fun to put this all together. It's a little different than our usual starts and sits, but it kind of allows us to endorse a couple of names. Mm-hmm. Just pick from the crops. All the different players. So that wraps up the Puck Buddy podcast.
Yep.
So
all right, let's hope America's there tomorrow. Bye.